as like treading because you're going to be walking around a lot. Make sure that it can drain because you don't want to be sitting in wet shoes. And then, oh, I forgot what the other one was. Draining, treading.
You don't want gravel getting in.
Comfort, okay. Oh yeah, was it?
You don't want gravel getting in.
Yes, you don't, well, that's hard to avoid, but you want to make sure it's covered because you might be walking around and there's trash and things like that, and so if you get something cut on your foot or the sun blasting down on it, it doesn't make a fun race. And then kind of moving up, tights are what you're going to see most people wear. You can wear shorts as long as you're wearing lots and lots of sunscreen, but tights are a good option because you don't have to worry about sunburns or things like crawling on you. The thing with any of the clothing, what you want to look out for are kind of the seams. So seams that are tied down, or I get these ones ordered online every year from Running Funky, and I ask them to get the seams sewed on the outside to again prevent chafing. Because when you do even just short runs on the weekend, you don't notice it, but after several days of it rubbing, it'll start to add up. And then for shirts, you kind of want something lightweight and a light color, because again, the sun's going to be beating down on you. If you're wearing black, you're going to start getting overheated. But you want to look for the same things. Seams that are sewed down or short to prevent that kind of rubbing and chafing. Because once you start chafing, you don't really go back from that until you're done racing. Do we have any ladies racing in here? Nope, okay, then we'll skip those things. And then hats. So hats is really a personal preference, but you do want to wear a hat. So I usually go with just kind of a front brim hat, just far enough to kind of cover my forehead. But with these ones, you have to make sure that you're covering your ears with sunscreen and the back of your neck. Then you also have kind of the full brim hat, which kind of prevents full coverage. Maybe not as fashionable, but more things covered up. But clothing is very important. So light colors and checking the seams is kind of your key thing. And then just trying things out. If you buy something, go on a long run with it. Make sure you feel comfortable with it. And if you start to feel any hot spots, maybe that's not the best choice. Okay? Quickly check. Does anyone have any questions about clothing? Okay. I'm just going to kind of keep running through things, and then we'll have some time at the end if you want to ask questions. But from clothing, kind of the next thing we have is personal care. So with these, again, chafing is a thing. So you will chafe at some point on this race. So it becomes kind of just a personal preference. Some people use Destine, triple paste, Aquifer. Aquifer is my preference. But you just want to lather everything up. So that means like waistbands, butt crack, sometimes armpits, if you're a lady, bra straps, hands especially, and then you want to reapply during the race. So at least once per day, you want to hit that again with your hands, hit it in your butt, because again, the rubbing will happen, and once it starts, it is not fun for the rest of the race. But try different things. I once had a teammate who we always used Aquifer, and someone was like, oh, try like baby paste, and they tried it, and then it was like the worst thing they ever had. So just try different things. Oh, welcome back. Okay. And along with that too is sunscreen, because it's going to be hot, it's going to be beating down on you. You want to take care of that. So some preferences. So you want to talk about your stick? Oh, let's jump in.
I've used this kind a lot. The biggest thing is you don't want to get sunscreen on your hands, because if you do, you're asking for blisters, because that sunscreen is going to make it sticky on the paddle, so you're going to get really bad blisters. So if I use this kind, I'm going to put it on the back of my hand and then rub it wherever I need to put it, opposed to putting it on the inside of my hands, or I'll just use like my fingertips if I gotta get my ears. Mm-hmm. The stick makes it easy because then I can just like smear it all over everywhere and not have to worry about it. It's just a matter of preference. The one thing to watch out for is don't get it on the inside of your hands, and don't put it on your forehead, because you'll sweat and then you're going to start to cry a lot because the sunscreen will be all in your eyes. So just wear a hat. So that's kind of the sunscreen.
And then our family also uses just like, this is just a travel size, it's like $2, it's lightweight, it's all you need for safari. Again, it prevents you having like get it on your hands when you spray. But with sunscreen, make sure you're hitting things that you always think like, oh, face and hands. You gotta remember like ears, ankles if you're not wearing socks or things like that. So
Yeah, the back of your hands is a big one people forget.
yeah, and neck too. Yeah.
They're saying over there sunscreen is not a medical thing. That's something you have
It's
to
not a
carry.
medical thing. Medical,
Yeah.
to keep it simple, is like if it's something you consume, or if it's like you need an EpiPen, or you need you're diabetic, that's medical. Hat, sunglasses, sunscreen, even this Desitin.
I even think like
is
Advil,
not.
I think you're supposed to bring like
Yeah.
pictures.
So really, think of the safari like a backpacking trip. You got to have it in your backpack, or you live without it. So,
Yeah.
does that answer the question?
Yep.
Okay.
Which is a good segue to medical.
Yeah.
As far as what you're going to bring medical, you can bring a nice first aid kit that has a lot in there. This is up to your discretion. Or,
You bring like 3 Band-Aids and some duct tape and just say that's it.
yep, I do a couple things I like to bring is Imodium, electrolytes. I do take a little bit of ibuprofen. If you have medical conditions, make sure you talk to your doctor and you get that sorted out as well. And then, yeah, you see Libby uses old.
And I like color coordinate it, but with anything, you want to make sure it's watertight. So this has a good seal, and then we put it in little baggies because on day 2 or 3, when you're trying to open things, sometimes those can be hard to rip open, and so this is like I can just tear it with my teeth and just pop it in. And we'll usually pair it with like Tums or salt sticks just to try and like help with some electrolyte stuff.
As far as like personal care, mints are one of my favorite things. So is ginger. And then these are also watertight. Even when my hands are tired, they work pretty well. Like Libby, I like to color coordinate. And then I also write on the top too, because I'm
Yeah.
gonna have this in my jug foam. So these are things I'm gonna use quite a bit. The other things I don't use as much, I may have those put away in a dry bag.
Yeah. And we both bring it, but Benadryl is kind of a recommended thing just because there are lots of things on this river, and if something just happens to crawl on you and you have some kind of reaction, having that as a backup. Like for example, my sister, we on a training run, got an asp on her back and had a horrible reaction, and so I had to give her lots of Benadryl.
And that goes into, the first group didn't get to hear this, but bring that with you on your training run. I will bring a dry bag with me, and that's pre-packed. It has a first aid kit. It has a space blanket, just in case. So like, train with all this stuff throughout the season. And then space blanket, y'all want to bring that. It's $2 at Academy. It weighs nothing because you may get cold. Same thing as a rain jacket. And you can bring an actual rain jacket, or you can bring a garbage bag, because this last summer started raining, 2 in the afternoon, you get a little
cold.
chilled. It's not, it just makes it more comfortable.
Yeah, and I will say on pretty much every safari, there's been a point where I get cold, and like taking jackets or garbage bags. So it's good to have just something. Kind of extra for my personal preference. I usually bring a back brace, and I've used it every year. Again, personal preference. If you're going for long runs and you're noticing some pain, it might be a good idea. For me, I use it for my upper back. It's like too straight of a posture, but again, just a personal preference thing.
And talk about back pain, y'all make sure to ask James when you go over to the boat rigging about seat angle, because some people are like, oh, my back hurts right here, so they put more seat padding on, or they put a back brace, and it's because their boat's not where it should be. So
Same thing like if you have leg pain too, that angle, that's always my issue.
yeah. But at some point your butt is gonna hurt. Sometimes in the safari, that's what hurts the most. If you look at the boat over here, you'll see it's got 3 different layers of foam, and it has a big V cut in the back. The V is for your tailbone. It allows that relief off the tailbone. And then sometimes I'll bring an air seat, and I'll pull it out about mile 100 to celebrate that I made it 100 miles, and then I get to reward myself with a nice cushioned seat. So that's a preference thing.
I realized we didn't talk about this in the last session. Life jackets, you might not wear it for the whole race, but you have to wear it in the bay. Try paddling in your life jacket. That seems silly. You'll go to REI, you'll put it on, and they're like, yeah, this is great, I can use this. And then you start paddling in it, and you're like, oh, it's rubbing wrong, it's like too bulky, I don't like how it sits on my back. So find a life jacket that works for you that you can paddle in, because you will have to wear it in the bay.
And as Jay mentioned, make sure it's U.S. Coast Guard approved
Yes.
on the inside. And if you're an Olympic swimmer and you haven't slept for 40 hours, it may be hard to swim. So it may be worth putting on at night based on your comfort level.
And it doubles as a pillow if you need to take a nap.
We hit a lot of things. Paddles real quick. We've got the wooden paddle. You can pass that around. You notice it's bent. Has anybody here not seen or not used a bent shaft before? Okay. So why it's bent is when I'm paddling, it's pushing the water backwards. If it's straight, when I'm in the main power phase of the stroke, it starts pushing the water up. So you do hold it like this, not like that. Okay? If you hold it like this, then we all know you've never held a bent shaft before, and that's okay. Somebody will be nice and be like,
Yeah.
So that's the reason why they're bent. And then paddle height is a big factor as well. When I'm in the main power phase of the stroke, I want this top arm about nose level. Maybe hat brim, maybe chin, somewhere in this window. And so that all depends on how long your torso is and then where your seat is in relation to the water. Because if I'm in aluminum, I'm going to be sitting real tall. If I'm in one of these solo boats, I'm sitting very close to the water, so I'll probably want a shorter paddle. So as you're getting your gear together, keep that in mind. You can pass that around. So these are Foxworth paddles. They're a good backup paddle, or if you're on a tighter budget, they're about $80, opposed to Zavarol's that are $300 or Ripple or $400 now. $400. Y'all can pass them around.
And
Ripple.
oh yeah, I was gonna say these ones are more expensive, but every dollar counts.
Pass it
Like
around now.
like every ounce that you don't have to hold in your hands on that race helps a lot. And so it's an investment, but it does pay off in the long run.
If you're to splurge on anything, buy a good paddle. Like that is money well spent.
Yeah.
And there are several differences in the paddles that are very subtle that as a newcomer you may not recognize. If you like to do a lot of research, you can get on the internet and read all the different physics on like the different curvatures and things like that. We unfortunately don't have time for that today. You got anything with you?
Nope. I was gonna say if we,
Okay, we plowed through everything really fast. So questions on anything that's related to personal care or gear that's like personal gear.
also feel free to come up here. You can touch things, you can take pictures of things, so you're welcome to come and look at things. If you're like, oh, what's that brand? You can come take a picture of it. So feel free. It was all flexible. You want to take that?
Big bite stuff. If I'm gonna
Yeah.
get something.
Are you thinking about double blading?
Is that
Is that what you were asking?
no, it's a snake bite.
Oh, snake
Like,
bite.
is there like some minimum kit that we need to get, or?
So it is up to you. This is an option. I've also been told if you have a Sharpie and you circle, this is where the snake bit me, that counts.
Okay, cool.
So it's really up to you.
I thought it was on the list for some
It
reason.
is on. It's one of the required items. Yeah.
It's mandatory, and I would defer you to talk to your doctor about that because
that's
different
fine.
doctors have different opinions,
Yeah.
and I'm not a doctor, so just make sure you research that.
All right.
Any chance you can go over the shoes again?
Yeah, absolutely. So, with shoes, what you're kind of looking for is you want something with a good grip because you're going to be walking around on kind of rocky ground or muddy ground. You also want to make sure it can drain well because if it doesn't drain, you're sitting in wet shoes and socks for days, and that causes lots of problems. And then just comfort and covering your feet because you don't want to wear like chacos because that risks you getting sunburn or like if there's trash in the river, like ripping your feet up. So those are kind of the conditions. I got mine from REI. I think she got hers from online. So it's just finding what works best for you. I have to try on different things. The brand I used to use, they don't make them anymore, and so I had to explore options. Like I'll tell you with mine, it has that mesh on it, and if I don't wear
Personal
socks,
preference.
it's
So try without and try with.
so
and see what works for
that's
you.
just finding that comfort.
Okay, and I'm guessing you recommend like they're tight on your feet versus like I've got
Do you wear gloves?
shoes that drain.
Libby, do you wear
It
gloves?
depends. No. Oh no.
Annika, do you wear gloves?
No, I do
Yeah,
not.
So we've got a few folks.
It
Caitlin, do
depends
you
on
wear
your personal
gloves?
preference.
Yeah. So all the people I know that are here don't wear
When we're
gloves.
doing portages and stuff, so I use my shoes.
No gloves.
But day 2,